Hello and welcome to Warblog. Today we're looking at the Syrian Jordanian border area. You might have noticed, probably not, that I did this originally and I got the map completely wrong, and it was a really nice map as well, and I was very tempted to just do it anyway, but because it was a nice big one. It didn't take me that long to do, but because it's the Syrian Jordanian border, not much there, but it included Iraq, and it was just all in the wrong place. I got the wrong map. I don't know how I did that, but so I had to do it again, so it's taking me a bit longer. But so here it is, the revised version. It's a smaller map. Now, this sort of one minute. Yeah, I seem to have sort of got logged out for some reason. Anyway, so the thing with this game, I love these little simple ones. I think this is sort of a tad more complex than I like, but I got carried away and put all the units in. I'm sure they don't have this many units, but it doesn't matter. It's roughly sort of what's happening. It's just basically taking this part of the borderline, these sort of border posts. But what I've sort of done, I've done a bit of, I've applied a little artistic license above and beyond the sort of the massive amount of units. I'm not sure, I don't want to labour that issue. I'd rather put more just to sort of show that they've got this line of control. If I only had 2 units, it would be a bit hard to sort of demonstrate that they have that, etc., etc. The Free Syrian Army sort of zone of control is there, but the Syrian Arab Army only want to take this bit, so they're not worried about this bit or these units. The point I'm trying to get to here, the artistic license that I used to some extent, was to, I just plonked in what we got. Now, first thing to notice, there's no irregulars in this game. I don't know why, but I'm sort of got the feeling that they're less of a sort of an irregular force and more sort of a regular force, because they used to be part of the Syrian army. But that's not necessarily the point. The point I'm sort of getting to here is that we've got the sort of units here, but the Syrian Arab Army in this case, they have their frontline mechanised infantry, but then really the backbone of what they've got is these 4 stacks of infantry. And I've put them in stacks almost deliberately so that you're then forced to deploy them as required. And then there's just these 2 armoured units. There is anti-tank, which you could maybe consider. Got air defence. They've got air power. The air power comes in a sort of staggered format, so sort of around, well, you should have, I can't even do the maths on that. If they come on for 10 turns, when you get to turn 8 you should have 3 lots on, and then turn 12, or turn 11 and 12 you'll only have 2 lots on, and then turn 14 you'll only have 1 lot on again. Turn 18 you'll have none, but on turn 20 you'll get another lot. So it's sort of, you get a bit of ebb and flow with the amount of air power that you've got, air support. But essentially what I'm sort of saying here on this game, and sort of following on from what I've been talking about in the past, is sort of planning a strategy. So you've got the building blocks, but you've got a sort of very infantry heavy thing. Now the thing is, because there's no irregulars, it might play a little different as to sort of how recently I've been maybe experiencing the difficulties, because this might be a hell of a lot of units for such a small force, and I might sort of change this a little bit. I don't know. But essentially you've got to fight it mainly with infantry. But the way I see it, what I'm trying to do, the reason I sort of did this sort of element of creative license, so to speak, was to sort of, because I see infantry more of a sort of holding force. So you might, for example, create a line along here. I mean, there's mechanised infantry, but you might use your infantry to create this line, but you'll use a task force that has your mechanised units, your armoured units, wherever you choose to deploy that, and you'll have a strike force. And then you'll be doing those strikes, maybe taking out this hex or taking out this element of objectives, and then using the infantry to basically form that line that the Syrian army can't take back, and then moving your mechanised and armoured units to the next point of attack in this. Now this might work on, I say, a larger scale, a grander scale. I mean, to be quite honest, you could just probably throw all your units out there and have a fantastic time. But that's sort of, in the back of my mind, that was what I did. I sort of thought, well, I'll put just lots of infantry, not so much the... but the thing is, you've got quite a lot of everything, really. So that's that. So I'm going to go into play mode. Now, I think the first thing to sort of maybe do with these games really is to look at what you've got. So we've got the Free Syrian Army. Obviously, we're playing with the Syrian Army first, but they've got 6. Should we count that anti-tank as 1? Yeah. So we've got 5, 3. Well, that's about 15. I'm not sure whether we're counting offensive or defensive. 4, 5, 3. So this one and this one are the two most vulnerable, and the thing is that they're not just the most vulnerable, they're the ones with the anti-tank. And looking through this, I am going to put some more infantry in because I do want to make it a challenge in this sense, because it's not sort of an exact scenario. I'll be doing the Talafar, I think, next. I want to sort of maybe do that, and that's going to be a little more specific because it's a very specific operation that's going through, and there's less scope for just letting the brush go where you want it to. But in this instance, I think this unit would be quite nice to take out. In fact, I think strategically I would say, well, I want to take these out. Not only are they weak, but I've identified the fact that they've got these anti-tank units. Now the anti-tank units get times 10 against armour and times, I think, 5 against mechanised. So in this instance, it could be worthwhile just throwing our infantry against that. Now, if I move, get the drawing tool out. I might even do any moves on this. If I actually do something like, I'm still well into this planning and things and thinking things through. If I attack that, well, what can I attack it with? Well, I only got these 2 units that can attack, so I can move there. What's going on? I can move there and there. But that would then leave me with, at the very best, mechanised units there and there, which could then be attacked one way or another with some more anti-tank there, etc, etc. Now there's not a lot around here to be worried about being attacked by, but there's a fairly, I mean, it's not even a big stack. He's got 1 mechanised unit in there and no infantry. The more I look at it, the more I think that this is really unbalanced, because there's not a lot stopping me from just really, I mean, for example, why won't you move? It would be a 3-to-1. Excuse me. Oh, I sneezed offline. I sneezed offline. I'm gonna commit my. I No, I don't know. I mean, strategically, my artillery. Now, the thing about this artillery, there's 3 lots of 4 range, and then there's this one with 8. Now, I think the artillery would be best used against something big like this stack here. But just going back to that, now there actually were 4 because there's 2 of them, but they're actually entrenched. They're not dug in; they're entrenched, so they're doubled to 8. So if I did go in with that, I'd be attacking at 15. I'd be attacking at 1 to 1. I mean, that's the sort of thing that, you sort of think, oh god, it's massive stack, but that's actually not that tough, and it's going to get tougher. I'm going to redo this. So it's actually not a great idea to just sort of start attacking that. I'm going to start moving these infantry units forward. I don't know what they're doing there. Okay. Okay, what can we do with this armour? Which movement has got left? 2.8. So we can move 1 more hex basically. Let's do that. Okay. Now we should have some more movement with the artillery, but we won't be able to move. But we can fire. 1, 2, 3. I don't know what to do really. I think I'm going to fire it all against this because they are actually quite tough. I think I'm just going to go for it. 1 against that. Okay, well, that's a start. Okay, that's what I like. 2.4 puts one to 3.8 and 2. Look at that. 5.1, so he had a 1% chance of routing. And 3. That's good. So we really pounded the artillery into that place there. And I think we're going to top it off with some air power. Oh, look at that, we got hit by their air defence units. Half strength, but it didn't matter, we still got to drop our bombs. 5.5, 3.3, and I think that is enough for me to feel a little happier about going in with an assault with everything. Now I'm not splitting up to get the flanks because I don't want to sort of reduce myself, but to be quite honest, there's not a lot of reason not to. I just didn't want him to have the opportunity of a 1-to-1 against this, plus, targeting it with the artillery and then going in, and there's no point I can sit here in safety. The 10%, 20% flank bonus, not that important. Okay, well, that was good. I mean, he got the he still had quite a good defensive factor in there, but it was pretty much halved, just over half, and we got quite a nice 4-to-1 odds there. Yep. So we've managed to destroy that unit, which is fantastic. So we've got 30 seconds left. So I think if you think about things, you figure a way out, and hopefully this will be a game that you can think about. I mean, if I'd just done what I wanted to there without thinking, I probably would have lost, because I did a bit of thinking. And I mean, obviously it's not rocket science, but I used my artillery first and my air power, really peppering them up. I got the odds down to something a little more suitable, but something that I'd anticipated before. See you later. Bye.